Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
Live from the land of Las Wages, Las Vegas, Nevada, my name is Jason Gold, and welcome to Gambling with Gold. And I could not do this without my co-host, as always, my buddy from the Action Network, Dan Titus. Dan, how are we doing this Friday?
Dude, it's so early, man. I feel like I'm on like rush hour drive-by radio right now. Fucking struggling. But you're probably way worse than I am right now, so I can't be complaining.
I was at the craps table until about 4 a.m. or so my wife tells me that's when I came back to the room. I don't really remember.
Allegedly.
Feeling great, feeling alive. Got a nice triple espresso right here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to make some Week 9 best bets. That's why we're here. I'll be heading to the sportsbook right after this. BetMGM Sportsbook right at the base of Mandalay Bay. I'll be heading in there, placing all of these bets. So without further ado, let's get into some Champions Round information and business, and then we will head into our Week 9 best bets. If you want to enter the contest to win our Ricky Williams and Tyrod Taylor jersey, all you have to do is follow us on TikTok, DM us at Champions Round on either Twitter or Instagram, and you will be entered to win those two. We will be drawing that, I believe, tomorrow. And then we have a couple more giveaways to do throughout the week, including a Ryan Tannehill signed Titans helmet and a Matthew Stafford signed Rams jersey for Sunday Night Football. We will be talking about that game in a little bit. Very exciting giveaways. That's all I have for Champions Round information. Let's get to what we came here for. Week 9, best bets. Let's go make some money in Las Vegas. Dan, why don't you start us off with your number one pick?
Yes, sir. First pick, man. I'm going with a big favorite here, the Buffalo Bills over the Jacksonville Jaguars, 14.5. This is hefty. This is a really hefty number, but what we've seen is that the Jags are fucking terrible. And the Bills, 5-0-1 against the spread against losing opponents this year, 4-1 in their last 5 in Jacksonville against the spread. The Bills are the best team in the AFC right now. I think they go out and prove it. Jacksonville is on a one-way ticket to the first pick in the draft here, fighting with the Detroit Lions and the Houston Texans. So, yeah, man, I gotta fade them. Gotta continue to fade them. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills here.
That is not what I expected to hear as the number one pick. We're laying 14.5 points on a road team. Let's go, Dan.
Blow them out.
Let's give them the unexpected. I actually think that, I think the Buffalo is probably going to put up a big number in this game. Jacksonville, you're going to ask their offense to score probably at least 17 points to get this within the number. I don't think they're going to do it against Buffalo, who has yards per play. We talked about this a little on Tuesday. Yards per play, that's the best defense in football. So I could definitely see it. I could see even if Buffalo scores, 4 touchdowns, 28 points, I'm not sure the Jags are getting within that number.
Where the Jags' points coming from? That's where I'm wondering, Like, I feel like the Bills, they've had a lot of time. I mean, I don't know. This Bills team, we haven't seen Stephon Diggs really go off, and I just don't see who they're going to be able to stop on that team.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this a little bit yesterday on our Instagram Live, but I feel like one of those number 2 receivers, Sanders or Beasley's, going to have a giant day against the Jaguars tomorrow or on Sunday.
I'd love to see it be Gabe Davis, but yeah,
I got a lot of stock in Gabe Davis too. He's been dropped in every league that I had, but I thought he was going to be due for a big season this year, and that did not happen. All right, I guess I'll move over to my number one pick. Mm-hmm. I rode with this team in their first matchup, and Trey Lance decided to put up a zero burger. I'm rolling it back at home this time. San Francisco +1 hosting the Cardinals. I think I might be getting massive closing line value here. We're not 100% sure if Kyler's going to be playing. We don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is going to be playing or what's going on in that wide receiver room. It's a little dicey at this point. The concern is that Arizona's had quite a bit of time to prepare for this game. They're a little bit well-rested. You assume that their defense is going to be in a good spot. But I think San Francisco coming out of the bye, we saw it last week against the Bears. They're rolling. They're a little bit healthy. I like Jimmy G in this matchup a lot more than I like Trey Lance. I think that they get this done at home this time. And this is kind of how the NFC West works, right? Every single team has a team that they beat. San Francisco always beats Arizona. I know that they didn't last time. It was a little fluky, but go back and look at their record. San Francisco always dominates Arizona, specifically in San Francisco. So I think this is a great matchup, great time of year to continue betting against Cliff Kingsbury. This will be my number one pick on the board. You want to head over to your number 2, or you want to
Yeah,
talk more about how gross this San Francisco pick is?
No, I actually don't mind it, mainly because the uncertainty around Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins. You're getting this at plus money, or plus odds at least, right before closing, before any of that stuff is really clarified. So I think this is the time to do it if you're going to do it. So I totally agree with that. Yeah, my second pick, I'm going with Houston 5.5 against the Miami Dolphins. Kind of confused at this line now that Tyrod Taylor has officially been named the starter. We saw him in the first couple games of the season play very well, very competent, way better than Davis Mills. Miami's going to be missing Devontae Parker. I think this is going to be a shootout. Definitely taking the over on this game because both of these defenses are not that good. But I think that Tyrod Taylor has enough to keep it interesting here. Not really sure what's going on in the backfield for the Texans, but I'm not really worried about that. Him and Brandon Cooks have a great rapport. I think we're going to see Tyrod Taylor make this one interesting and cover 5.5. So love the Texans here as underdogs.
You don't have to convince me on the Texans. This is my gross bet of the week. It is one of my best bets of the week. I talked about it on the Tuesday show. I already bet Houston plus 7.5 for a lot. I'm glad that I got that number in. I paid a little juice on it, minus 125, but I knew that Tyrod was going to start. So I figured that was going to move down a little bit. 5.5, really good number. 4.5. Probably still good. Anything above 4, I'm definitely on the Texans. I love that over. I already bet it at 45. Looks like it's 45.5 right now. I'd still bet it up. I'd probably bet it to 47. I do think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, as do you. So give me the Texans. It was my 5th pick in here just because it moved down. My contest that I'm playing it at is 4.5. A little bit scary going south of 6, but that's 7.5. That's my biggest bet of the week. Other than, I'll talk about one later, but I have, I'll say it right now. Rams teaser piece. Teaser piece I have in about everything. Like, there are 10 bets surrounded with that. Best one there would be Rams minus 1.5 and Browns plus 8.5, just because it's the full one teaser.
That.
So
yeah, I was going to take the Browns teaser. Sounds perfect, actually.
Yeah, it's actually that's probably my biggest bet of the week. But outside of that Houston plus 7.5. Love it. Let's get gross. That's what we do better than anyone else. Like we say, we're not the sharpest, we're not the best, but we are the grossest, and that's what we get done for you guys.
Disgusting. Love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of gross, let's go here. Number 2 pick on the board, the Atlanta Falcons plus 6.5 against the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, that is gross.
No one wants to bet on the Falcons. Who wants to do this to yourselves? Why would you ever do this to yourself? Against a Saints team that just beat the Buccaneers? Don't do this to yourself. Don't make life harder than it is. I like making life harder than it has to be. Let's go on the Falcons. Come on, baby. I think that they can keep this inside the number. Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian. This is going to be a low-scoring game. I don't have confidence that they're going to play as well as they did last week. That was definitely a game to get up for. I know this defense can have success against the Falcons, but divisional opponent, divisional dog, 6.5 points. I'm thinking that you're going to keep it inside. Give me 24-20 Saints in the Falcons cover plus 6.5.
I like the play, man, because I'm looking at trying to look at the books right now, and the books aren't too convinced about the Saints. I'm only seeing 57% of the money on the Saints right now. I expected that to be a lot higher. So yeah, I think that there's a nice little lane for the Falcons to actually cover here. And I think it was announced Trevor Siemian's going to be the starter, not Taysom Hill. So I don't know. What has Trevor Siemian really done? We've seen him in the Broncos. We've seen him, what was he on the Jets for a time? I feel like he's been on so many teams. Is that really that reliable? Michael Thomas isn't coming back, so it's not like their offense has really changed that much other than getting Mark Ingram and watching Alvin Kamara running down their throat. But I don't know. I think that this team loses a little bit of value with Jameis Winston not at quarterback. So I think you're getting a nice little edge there with the Falcons. So I'm not mad at it.
The way that the Saints cover this game is turnovers. And the way that Atlanta covers this game is no turnovers. So this is basically the entire game. It's just, can Matt Ryan not be an asshole for 60 minutes?
He's been pretty good. He's been good since the bye week, so we'll see. I think he could keep it competitive. I think you're right. It's a divisional matchup that I think gives a little bit more of the edge to Atlanta here. If this was just a random team that they were going up against, I don't think they'd have that much success. But I think that this is going to play there's going to be some extra motivation here.
Yeah, I think at 5.5, I'm probably close to a stay away, but 6.5, that's just too much value there.
Yep.
All right, let's move over to your number 3 pick.
My number 3, Fading my birds. Going to Chargers -1.5 on the road versus Philly. I think Brandon Staley finally figures out. I talked about it on Tuesday. I think he's finally going to figure out how to stop teams from running all over their defense. And, it's only the guy's an analytical dude. I think it's only a matter of time before he figures it out. Herbert's been quiet. I think we'll see Mike Williams get a little bit more love this week. I think he'll be peppered with targets with Darius Slay, bothered by Keenan Allen. And really, the Chargers are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 road games, 8-3 against the spread overall in their last 11. The Birds, they're flying high off of a huge win off of a dog shit team as the Detroit Lions. So I think it's a great opportunity to fade them. They're small 1.5-point favorites, but, I'll take that.
So it's a little bit of a public play. There's a lot of the public bigger bets. Well, let's say a lot of the ticket count is on the Chargers. It is a lot of sharp money on the Eagles. And the reason that came in is because Herbert was injured, or they thought he was injured early in the week. He was a full participant on Thursday, full go for Sunday. I think this line is going to creep back up. I actually saw it move from 1.5 to 2 in one of the books earlier today. So if you can get Chargers at 1.5, money line, something like that, I'm in. This is actually my 5th pick. I'm with you. I think the Chargers get it done here. They've had 2 horrible games in a row with a bye split in the middle. Patriots was just a bad matchup. We talked about this, but Belichick and that defense versus Herbert, they've played 2 years in a row. It's just not good for him. He's not developed enough to understand what the Patriots are going to throw at him. Before that bad situation against Baltimore, Wink Martindale threw together a lot of stuff at him. The Eagles aren't going to do that. The Eagles do what they do in different colors. They don't really mix it up very much. So
they don't.
Herbert's going to know exactly what he has to do in different situations in this game. Staley's going to be on top of it. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to stop the run as much as you do. I hope so for our bet. I'm not as confident, but I do think that the Chargers can outscore the Birds in this game. And I think that the Chargers are going to do a really good job of containing Jalen Hurts. If you go back and look at that Ravens game, they actually did a really good job of containing Lamar Jackson through the air. An okay job on the ground. So I expect Hurts to struggle a little bit in this game. It would not be one of my fantasy plays for this week. If you have another quarterback that's decent enough to play over him. And, I'm on the Chargers with you. I don't know about the total right now. Total sitting at 47, 48, something like that. Let me go and check that real quick.
Yeah, I see it got bumped up to 49, 50.
49 and a half. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I like the under there a little bit. Chargers have, despite their offense being relatively prolific, have played in a lot of under games this year. Seems like maybe I got let's go 27-20 Chargers here.
That sounds reasonable. Maybe I get 27-23 just to make it interesting for the Birds a little bit.
I like it. All right. So, yeah, I would buy this up to 50, get on that key number. But if it keeps trending up, maybe I don't have to buy it there. But definitely love the under there. If it gets to 50, Chargers -1.5, Chargers money line, all that good stuff. Let's do it. My number 3 pick of the week. I'm going opposite of gross, so maybe that's not going to work out for us. But Sunday Night Football, Rams -7.5. I actually saw it, got down to 7, -115 at one book. I pounded on that. I said teaser -1.5. Love that. That's my actual best bet of the week. But I think the Rams come in here and absolutely smoke. They've been great on Sunday Night Football. I think the fans are going to be fired up for a Sunday Night Football game. Little nighttime action in LA always gets everybody excited. Come for the show. The Tennessee Titans, 3 straight big games. At some point, they just have to be absolutely exhausted. There's no way that they can keep up this. They got their big win against the Colts last week. The division is relatively settled. I know the Colts won last night, but Titans can afford to lose a couple games. And the Rams, I think this is the time to show that they are, like I said on Tuesday, they're the Super Bowl contenders. The Super Bowl is in LA and runs through LA. This is the time they show it. I think that they put up a big, big game. And I also like the Rams over 30.5 team total on points. Give me the Rams. Oh, you're going to like this one. Rams 41-17. I think it is an absolute blowout. Absolute blowout.
So this was my 5th bet of the slate here. And I'm with you. We talked about it on Tuesday here. I think that this is the fade the Titans moment. And Stafford hasn't really played that much. Like, he didn't even play in the 4th quarter last game. He's one of the only QBs in the NFL whose QBR has gone up this year. This is the moment here. This is where the LA Rams show that they're one of the best teams in football. They just got Von Miller. Good luck, Ryan Tannehill. It's going to be a long freaking day. You don't have they're touting, you know what I'm saying, Adrian Peterson right now, that he looks great. It's Adrian Peterson. I get it. But this man's going to plod his way for 20 carries for 58 yards against a team like this. So I don't see much upside here. Julio Jones isn't healthy. AJ Brown is solely dependent on play action fake. If you really can't get that going, I feel like that if Adrian Peterson enters the game, he's not catching the ball. So you almost know, like, if you're telegraphing your play. So I just think it's going to be rough for the Titans here. I see this also being a pretty not in a close game for the Rams here. So I'm taking them 7.5. That just makes sense to me.
It has to figure that after 3 games of playing awesome, and now Henry's out, you have to adjust your entire offensive philosophy on the fly.
Yeah.
Like, if there's any time for this to be a smash spot in terms of fading the Titans, it's this week. You're not going to get another opportunity. If they end up inside of this number, they're like one of the greatest gambling teams of all time. This is the spot that you have to fade the Titans. It's not even like a bet. I think the Rams are going to play great, but it's not even a bet on the Rams. It's just a fade on the Titans.
Right. Totally agree.
All right. What is your number 4 bet of the week?
So my number 4 pick, the Giants plus 3.5 against the Raiders. This is my first time actually taking the Giants this season, and it's really Danny Dimes that I have more faith in than the Raiders here. The Raiders, we saw them come out of adversity with the John Gruden situation, come out smashed. I think was it the Eagles? I think it was the first team that they beat. But I don't know, this Henry Ruggs stuff, I think, is actually going to sink a little bit deeper into the team, the chemistry. You know, this affected Derek Carr, a lot. Can't imagine that team, they're playing on humbled hearts right now. And I feel like that's going to play some kind of a factor here. And 3.5 points, you're giving me the hook with the Giants. I think that this is a spot where they can get it done. No Saquon again, but who cares? Saquon hasn't been there for like 2 years anyway. So I feel like Danny Dimes has figured it out. Kadarius Toney doesn't seem like he's gotten a serious injury, so he'll be back. Maybe Kenny Golladay can get out there. We don't know about Sterling Shepard yet, but I think it'll be enough for this Giants team to figure out a way to get within 3.5 points here. It's more of just a fade against the Raiders, their situation. They've seen that their rush and their pass defense hasn't been as great as it was earlier in the season. So I think it's going to be tough for them to get up, play a game, and actually cover the spread here. So I'm going to take the Giants.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you here, and it's mostly based on the Ruggs situation and how I think this is going to affect the team too. Like, this is situationally, if you would have thought about it before the Ruggs crash, Raiders are coming off bye, Giants on a short week, Giants stink at home. Raiders, we've seen a very competent team, so I would have been on the Raiders, but you're right, and maybe it's just our feeling on it, but how do you not get distracted by that? This is a way worse situation than the Gruden thing. It's so the whole crash is terrible for everybody involved. Obviously, the loss of life, but in Ruggs, whatever. It's really terrible. So I don't know how you come back from that. It's going to take a little time to settle in. I know these guys are professionals and are used to dealing with this sort of stuff, but
the humans too, man. This shit's gotta affect the team a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That's just a crazy instance to happen in the beginning of the week while you're preparing to actually play a game. I wouldn't even want to play a game. My teammate is going through some shit. I don't know. It just feels like a lot to have to play with. So yeah, I think it's, for me though, I'm betting, I'm throwing my bankroll on this. I'm going to play the narrative here and think that's going to be too much for the Raiders. So yeah, I got to go Giants here, 3.5.
All right, I'm probably with you. I actually like this a lot as a teaser piece at home, bringing it up. If you had three, I've seen the 2.5 some places, 3.5 some places. You're still going to get it up to 9.5. So that's that number a lot. Yeah, like that a lot. My number 4 pick of the week, getting gross here. Carolina plus 3.5 at home. I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't care if it's Sam Darnold. I actually would prefer if it's PJ Walker at this point. But look, the Patriots should not be, with this current iteration of their team, given where they are offensively, should not be 3.5 point road favorites versus pretty much anyone not named the Dolphins, Texans, or Lions. Shouldn't happen. Carolina is a competent team. their cornerbacks are incredible. They have 4 that are like in the top 25% of the NFL right now. I think they're going to shut down Mac Jones. It's not that easy to run on this defense. I think it's a low-scoring game. Obviously, you see the over-under is 41 right now, so I don't know if I would play it, but I think it's going to be really low-scoring. Carolina is doing some okay things offensively. I do not really care who the quarterback is. I think they'll find success on the ground versus this Patriots team. They'll keep it within inside the number, plus 3.5. I don't know if they're going to end up winning this game, but I definitely will have them as a my round robin underdog money line parlay for sure. So yeah, give me Carolina plus 3.5.
I like it. I actually was thinking about. I was between that and the Bears and who's the Bears? The Bears and the Bears and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Gotcha.
But ended up going with the Carolina Panthers here. Really, because like I feel like Belichick, because he doesn't really know. We don't know. CMC still might play. There's an outside chance that he could get out there. I mean, PJ Walker, how do you prepare for him? I mean, I don't know. I guess you just don't throw the ball. I guess it's the way not to do it.
I'm literally hoping that it is PJ Walker because Sam Darnold, Belichick knows what to do there.
He knows exactly what to do with Sam Darnold. So that's why I'm thinking like the fact that they're keeping him in the dark a little bit, I feel like could add a little bit of mystique that you need to get Carolina to at least be competitive. 3 points. So yeah, I like the angle there.
All right. Do we have any more picks on the board? You threw 5?
Yeah, I threw 5. So my last one was the Rams over the Titans. But I will throw in I'll throw in a 6th.
Nice. A little secret sauce, a little extra.
Little extra sauce. So hot take. I think that Ravens -6. I'm gonna take them coming off of a bye, playing against the Vikings. My hot take is Mike Zimmer is gonna get fired at the end of this game.
Spicy.
Let's go. They've been waiting for the moment. This is going to be the moment because they're going to get slaughtered. And Kirk Cousins, it's really just a play calling. Like he needed to throw the ball downfield. He had a lot of success last game, and then he just started doing this dink and dunk shit, and it just wasn't working. And I think coming off of the bye here, you don't want to face a Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson. Rashad Bateman's not even, I think he was absent from practice this morning, but not too concerned about it, man. I think this is really just a fate of how bad the Vikings don't trust in Mike Zimmer. And this is what's going to be the end. It's the end of the road for him, man. I think this is where it goes. This is where it all goes off the rails. The Vikings lose it. Ravens -6. Let's go.
That is so spicy. I love it. Now, how do I go ahead and bet Mike Zimmer as first coach fired? Because
first coach fired, right?
Gruden resigned. That didn't count. He didn't get fired.
Nope.
Mike Zimmer, you're gonna have to fire his ass to get him out of the building. So I love it. I'm gonna make that bet somewhere today. All right. I do have a 6 pick also. Team that we talked about now, Odell-less. Going with the Browns.
This is a great. Love this play too.
Browns plus 2.5 at Cincinnati. Look, I wish that Cincinnati would have won last week against the Jets. We saw that Jets team last night. They put up a 30-burger against the Colts defense. They're a little spicy, so don't hate that one. But, I think that the Browns are being criminally undervalued here right now. If you would have talked to me before the season, the Browns would have been favored in the spot. If you would have talked to me 2 weeks ago, the Browns would have been favored in the spot. So 2.5 points of value. Give it to me. I like it. I think that Baker has actually proven that he plays better without Odell. Something weird in his head about having to force the ball or whatever. I think that they will play better with just Jarvis Landry out there. Nick Chubb, I think he's going to have a lot of success on the ground. And I think that this Browns defense, their front four, can get home versus the Bengals offensive line that can be a little porous at times. I like Joe Burrow's over passing yards, and I like the T. Higgins over receptions. I saw your boy Sean Corner from Action Network had those two on the board. Also, I like those. So maybe I'll play the over in this one. Looks like it's 47 right now, but I think that the Browns are going to be able to get this one done.
Yeah, if you take a look at the Cincinnati Bengals vulnerabilities, it's really their ability to not defend against opposing running backs. If you look at their numbers, they're just as bad as the Jets. I think the Jets might have creeped up on them from 3 to 4 or 4 to 3, excuse me, in terms of receptions and yards allowed to opposing running backs. it's crazy how bad they are. I mean, we saw what the Jets did to them. So at this point, I don't know that I can trust the Bengals defensively. I do love Burrows over. I think Burrows been one of the best quarterbacks over the last several weeks. And that offense is just so explosive, but their defense is a problem. And when you look at the Browns, I actually think that this is like where a narrative actually goes into their favor of like Odell's kind of been a headache for a while now, and all the drama and shit, get it out the way. I think Baker will probably have one of his better games. It's going to be torn labrum. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Just because he's just wanting to spite Odell Beckham and his shenanigans. So I wouldn't be surprised here if we see the Browns come out outright, get the victory, and make this division even more competitive.
I'm totally with you. All right, let's move on, close out the show with some other best bets that you may have. What else you got on the board, Dan?
Man, I don't really love the rest of the lines here. It's the Packers and the Chiefs. I tend to want to lean the Chiefs here, like to finally figure it out. With maybe it would take Jordan Love to actually make this an opportunity where the Chiefs can actually cover a game. But it's a stay away from me, man. Like I can't trust them at this point. We saw their offense get Gore involved, who was like, who the hell is this guy? Tyreek is still doing his thing, but like, I don't know, Mahomes, it's just not there. The mojo's not there with the Chiefs right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers came back and did a backdoor cover here somehow, some way, figure it out. So that's a stay away from me. And I think the only other game on the slate would be the Bears and the Steelers, which I don't know, coming off of Justin Fields' best game, part of me thinks that the Steelers might have a little bit of a letdown at home, thinking that they can just roll over the Bears. And wouldn't be surprised if the Bears cover. So I'm going to take that. That's going to be my dark horse gross pick of the week would be the Bears 6.5 against the Steelers after they just won outright against the who they play last week? The Browns. That's right. Browns.
Yeah, my concern with Chicago, I love that number, 6.5 and over under 39. Makes a lot of sense to play that, but I don't know if their offense is going to be able to move the ball at like Pittsburgh Steelers with their defense and that defensive front, and then Chicago's offensive line issues and Fields holding the ball forever. Like they may score 0 points, literally 0 points. So maybe I'll do Chicago plus 6.5, and I'll do the under on their team total. One of those two has to come through. Maybe there's a chance that you get both and get lucky. Maybe it's like a 13-10 game or something like that. So, but
you could see that though. I feel like that's
absolutely.
Ben Roethlisberger hasn't proven that much offensively. Najee Harris is probably going to have a good game, but that's still going to run the clock down, right? If he's running effectively, you're going to be using time on the clock. So I could still see that being an under game script.
So I don't know what their team total is. It's probably going to be like 16.5 or something like that. Something like that. What's the chance that they score 17 points and don't cover? I feel like that's highly unlikely in this situation. So I'll be playing both of those. My other two bets on the board that I want to talk about were Giants, Vegas, under 48. I think there'll be less scoring than people think in that game. Obviously, we don't think that the Raiders' offense is going to click. I don't expect the Giants to put up a 30-burger either. So I expect a low-scoring game there. And then Minnesota, Baltimore, under 49.5. Look, the Vikings just haven't been in shootouts lately, like at all. They've been playing these really slow, long games with no points. I think the Ravens will be fine to just keep the ball on the ground and run up their ass and keep the clock moving. So, give me the under 49.5 there. I would love it if it got to 50. I do not see a 50 on the board yet, but if that comes on the board, I will double down on my bet.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the last game we didn't talk about, Dallas and the Denver Broncos here, seeing that over under at 49, kind of like the over there, just given what the Denver Broncos just lost in Von Miller. I think that they'll have to be playing catch up with a very explosive Dallas offense. So wouldn't be surprised if Teddy Two Gloves does his thing a little bit, maybe gets Jerry Jeudy involved. Maybe hopefully we see more Javonte Williams, but I don't really see a recipe for this to be under, considering how many points Dallas could potentially put up on Denver, and Denver having to play catch up.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in this game. I lean towards the over. I do like a lot of the Broncos player props overs, which is not a place that you always want to be, but I do think that they're going to play.
That's in gross territory.
That's definitely in gross territory, my friend. Teddy over passing yards, I probably like. Judy or Sutton receiving yards over for sure. Maybe over receptions or over longest receptions for Javonte and Melvin. I've actually been playing those a lot recently. They've been a lot of fun. Is the number one running back over longest receptions and nothing else? Like Jonathan Taylor last night, I had over 11.5 yards longest reception. He had a 20 burger. Michael Carter, I also had his, and I also had under on everything Michael Carter other than that. So I think I'm going to keep playing those this week, see if any of those come through. The non-gross territory, betting overs, not gross. Not gross enough for us.
It's betting Melvin Gordon to me is just the grossest thing that you could possibly do. I've been fading Melvin Gordon like probably his whole career. Every time that I've gone for it, I always fucking lose. So he's like Virginia Tech to me. Can never bet on him.
Yikes. All right, let's close it out. You have any other bets on the board that we want to talk about, or are we through everything?
I think we ran through them all, man. I haven't gotten to my player props yet, so I'll be dropping some of those a little bit later today. But check out my Twitter. I'll be dropping something for you.
Fantastic. All right, that does it for episode 28, our week 9 best bets. Dan, until next time, hopefully I make it back from Vegas.
Yes, sir.
And we can talk next Tuesday with the week 10.
Get gross on the books, man. Take them for everything they have.
I'll be at the craps table in about 14 minutes after I'm done editing this podcast. So can't wait. We'll feel like shit. Hopefully Sunday is a profitable day for us. Until next time, thank you for joining us. We will talk to you next week. Peace out.
Peace.